Welcome to this week's session with the Putnam County District Library. This week we're going to be looking at another Google product. We're going to be looking at Google Forms. Google Forms allow you to create a form or a survey that could be sent out to individuals, to the general public, whoever you might like to have complete a form. So starting off with Google Forms today, when you want to access Google Forms, you would be logged into your account, your Google account that is, and you would simply go under and scroll down in most cases, and you would probably need to go to the More from Google. When you click on this, when you scroll all the way down, you get to all the different listings of what is available and all the products from Google. One of those is Forms. That would be this one with the purple. When you click on that, it will open up and you can say, you would be looking at this as whether it's personal or business. So I'm going to click here on for personal use, and it's going to come up with, just like you see all the other Google products, it's going to have my gallery across the top. It's going to have any recent forms that I might have created or been in. So you can pick from your gallery, or you can simply select a blank. So I'm going to click here on the blank image. And again, it comes up Untitled. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is title your form. So we're going to just title this as Practice Survey. And then across the top here, we have the ability to customize our theme. So if I click here on Customize Theme, I can change the color. I could choose and pick my own image if I wanted to add. In most instances, what you would want to do is create an image that would be 4 inches tall by about 16 inches wide. If you wanted to create your own for like maybe a business, or if you have a logo or something. Again, you would pick your colors. We can just stick here with the basic purple that it came up with. A background color, same thing. You can change this background color so that if you wanted your form, the question area, to stand out a little bit more, you could do that. And then the font style. The font style, I would be a little bit hesitant about what I was using there, because when you go away from the basic, it does get a little bit harder to read. I'm going to actually, if I click on Choose Image here at the header, I wanted you to see you can use your own, but there are some ones that are actually present here that you could actually use. So I'm just going to select one and hit Insert so that you can simply see what that would look like. Now I've got my practice survey. You have a choice as to whether you would want to add a description or not, and you could put some type of directions here, and I'm going to simply say, please answer all questions. And then I've got my first question that comes up. It comes up as an untitled question. Now, if I were to type in here, what is your name? Notice what happened over here to the side. It assumed that I was asking a question that would be a short answer. So it changed automatically. I do have the option here to change. I could make it a paragraph or any of these other options that show up. I'm just going to leave this. Obviously, it's a short answer for my what is your name? And notice down here, I can duplicate that. So if I had the same question or a very similar question that maybe only a word or two changed, I could duplicate it. I can trash. I can make this required. So if I were to click on this, you would not be able to go on and submit this survey unless you've answered that question. Then I'm going to go ahead and I am going to use the plus sign. That is what's going to allow me to add another question. So I could put in, how was your, let's say, how was your service? Question mark. Now I've left this as a multiple choice. I could do check boxes, drop down. If let's say I wanted, I'm going to leave it as multiple choice, but I'm going to type in here. I'm going to type in excellent, and I'm going to then look down below. I can say good. Notice it automatically. I did not hit the keyboard. I did not type anything. It automatically put good. I can click again. It automatically put fair. I did not type anything because it can sense from the type of question I ask. And then here, again, poor. And here, if I clicked, and if I wanted to just type in other, then it's going to allow me. Okay, so I've got these 4 choices. What I wanted you to notice then is out here to the side, I can actually add an image if I would want. So I could click and I can browse, or I can search my Google Drive. I'm going to click here on browse. I have already on my desktop saved a smiley face. So it's going to automatically put that smiley face in there. Same thing, I could go down here. I'm going to say pour, and I'm going to add an image. So I click, again, I'm browsing. I have a frown, so I'm going to say open. And I'm going to add that frown in. So I've got excellent with an image. So this can be very handy because I can have words, or I could just simply have images if I would choose to. The other options I have is I can import questions if I would maybe already have a survey. I can add a title and a description. If I click on here, add a title and description, what that does is the next, it's making a break here, and it's letting me basically create a whole nother survey added on to what I have done. I can add video, and this actually adds a new section. So I don't know, for the most part, this adding the title and description is not something that I would think for the most part someone's going to probably put into a survey partway through like I just did. So I'm going to go back, and I notice I've got my trash can, so I can just hit delete and get rid of that. So then up here at the top, you can see where my questions are at, and then you can see my responses. But before we do that, I want you to see how I can click here on preview. And when I click on preview, what I see is the image and how this will appear to anyone who is interested in taking my survey. And then I'm going to go back. That opens in, when that does that, what it does is it opens in a different window here. But if I go back and I hit edit this form, then I can go back to my actual form where I can make changes to it. And then after we've got, obviously this very brief, what would be a pretty brief survey, I would then be able to go here to my settings in terms of how I would want to put this out to individuals. I'm going to go back to my preview just for the sake of an example here, and I'm going to show you how if I were to click here, and I am going to put a name in here, and I'm going to pick excellent, and then I'm going to hit submit. And the reason I wanted to do that is, notice if I were, when you are looking at this to view the way the form would look to somebody, you want to make sure that if the results are important to you in terms of being accurate, you don't want to go in and actually put the information in, because that's going to count towards your total with the survey. So what I just did now is, if I go back to, I'm going to hit go, your response was recorded. So I'm going to hit, okay, let's submit another one. I'm going to title this one calm. And again, this time I'm going to say good. Notice I don't have any images shown. I only added images for those excellent and poor. And again, I'm going to hit submit. Notice I do have the option to clear my selections. So if I'm not happy with how I answered something, I could clear it. I'm going to hit submit. And once again, I've got a survey. I'm going to go back here to submit again, but I'm going to go out of this survey. Now, if you look here at the top, I have 2 responses. So I can click here on my responses, and I can get and see this bar graph that's available to me. But I can also go up here and I can create a spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet then will give me my survey results in a spreadsheet format. I can look by question, and I can look by individuals if I would choose to. Okay, I'm going to go back here to my questions, and I want you to see how now, if I've got a survey created, and then I want to now send this out for individuals to be able to answer my survey, I will go up here to my settings, and I can collect the email addresses of the individuals that are responding. I can limit them so that they can only respond one time. And I can click on here where it says edit after they submit. So in other words, if they submit the survey, they aren't happy with what they submitted, they could submit again. It also gives them the option to see their results. And then when I go to presentation, when you're taking a survey, sometimes you can see like a progress bar going across the bottom. That's what this would allow. You can shuffle the question order, which would maybe be something like if, I guess my example I would think of is as a teacher, if you wanted to submit something and you didn't want the students or individuals to be able getting the questions all in the same order, obviously. And you can show the link to submit another response here. And then you can actually have it so that if you wanted to put a message there, that after they have submitted, they'll get a message back that said that it was recorded. And then quizzes, this is if kind of like I was talking about more with a teacher, if you want to make this a quiz for students. So I'm going to go back here to the general tab. I'm going to go back. Well, let's go back here and let's say save. Okay, so I've got this submitted now. I've got everything saved the way I want it. So I'm going to go to send. When I go to send, this is where I then have the option. Again, I could collect the email addresses here if I would choose. If I knew just the specific addresses of who I wanted to, I could put their email address in here. And I can, again, I could add collaborators, just like we've talked about with other things with Google. I myself, along with maybe another person that I might be working with, if I wanted them to be able to contribute to my survey as I'm creating it, I could add them as collaborators. But what you're probably going to use more often than not is the link icon here. Notice it gives me a link address, but I always check the shorten the URL. And then what I would do is I would copy this link and I would send this link out for individuals to answer my survey. Or if you have something like a web page maybe as your business, you could put that link in. You could also with a web page if you would want to embed the HTML. And that's where you would get, this is the icon for the HTML. So I'm going to go ahead and say cancel. And that is the basics of Google Form. And next week, we are going to be looking at another Google product that is available. And that would be Google Photos and how you can share and store your photos using Google. Hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for listening.